Welcome to the Frisco podcast. I'm your host, Scott Ellis, and today we have Raj Chhadua here with us. Raj is a pharmacist. I'm gonna let him tell you his story, but he has just opened an independent pharmacy. And if you're just going to every other pharmacy like most people and getting your medications and things there, you might want to start rethinking that a little bit. Raj, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Scott.
So let's start off, first of all, by hearing a little bit about your background. Okay, you're a pharmacist. We understand that. But how did you kind of come up through the ranks, and then what landed you at starting your own pharmacy? In an age when it seems like it's all big box pharmacy stores, to go independent is kind of going against the grain.
Yeah, it is. So I will say I started with big box. So I've been a pharmacist now for probably about 15 years. And when I initially came out of school, went with a big box, I actually worked my way up through the ranks with a big box, held a pretty good position with one of the major chains here in the DFW area. And in the beginning, it was great. We were pharmacists focusing on customers and patients and really driving the value of taking care of the patient and what medications they utilize. That slowly started to shift away, especially when you started to see a lot of consolidation in the pharmacy world, when you've got the large chains connecting with big pharmacy groups. And a lot of times, these groups are directing patients to pharmacies that are probably not in best intent for the patient, but more for the large conglomerate. When we started seeing that happen, I specifically was like, hey, we've got to change this up, go back to the roots, the way pharmacy was in the 1970s, 80s, where it was really your pharmacist that was at the corner of Main and Main that kind of helped you with everything. And bringing back that concept where the pharmacist takes care of the patient as a whole, making sure they're on the right medication and they're on the right therapy. So that's where Renue Pharmacy came out of existence. Let's refresh and renew the concept of pharmacy, where we're back taking care of patients holistically. And you know what, the medications, that's going to be there as well, but we're focused on the patient first.
Okay, well, as long as I've known you, and that's been quite a while now,
Yes, it has.
That has always been your focus. So it doesn't surprise me that you would stay focused on the patient that way and want to start something. But as I understand it, you've got you have one store open right now that is in Frisco.
Correct.
That is why you are here.
Correct.
But that's not the end of the game, right? You're going beyond that. So
Yeah.
Tell us about plans for Renue and kind of where you're going down the road.
So we've got total 4 locations. We started small, kind of understanding this world. What does pharmacy look like, especially when you're competing with these big, large chains that, they can gobble it up really, really quick, and they own the market share. Our goal was to start small to see how this world works. And quite honestly, it's a competitive world. And the main piece is just kind of breaking past the marketing concept where you have to go to CVS, you have to go to Walgreens, and that the consumer really doesn't have a choice. It's breaking that model that the consumer does have a choice. If someone's sending you to a pharmacy saying you're going to need to go to this pharmacy, you got to ask questions. Why do I need to go to that pharmacy? Is that pharmacy going to take care of me, or is it taking care of that big group there? So our goal is, let's learn this process, let's learn how it works, and then go and start to rebrand under this Renue Pharmacy model to expand out there to show consumers that there is a pharmacy that's specialized specifically for your needs, not only just on drug therapy, but managing your medications really, truly like it should be done, taking care of your immunizations, as well as compounding special meds that are designed specifically for you. We do a lot of hormone replacement therapy for a lot of individuals that just can't find commercial medications that work for them. Well, we have a great pharmacy team. Those pharmacists, one particular pharmacist specifically, just knows this in and out. Has been doing it for almost as a compounding pharmacist for 10 years, but has been a practicing pharmacist for over 30 years. He can tell you, from a commercial product what's right for you, but if that commercial product's not working for you, he can give you options in other areas. So let's really start to tweak your drug therapy in a concept that might actually benefit you long term versus just utilizing the same thing everybody does.
Right. So when you talk about properly managing your meds as opposed to the way it's normally done, can you elaborate a little bit on what does that mean? How do you guys take it the next step to make sure that people are, managing that accordingly?
Well, you have some patients, just to give an example, Parkinson's patients, they're on multiple medications, and they're very finite on how you have to take this medication, because a small dosage change or just missing one dose or one tablet can have some devastating effects. Well, having a pharmacist that you can speak with on a regular basis, educating you on what these medications are for. You're looking at 8 to 12 different medications that they're on, just really having a conversation that this is what this medication's for, this is what this medication's for. And then starting to streamline that down where we're taking that burden and we're going to manage this for you. You shouldn't be managed by your medications. Your medication should be helping you live a better quality of life, and that's where we want to kind of fit in. So how do we take those medication profile and put it and synchronize it where it's getting filled the same time every day? When it's, we've seen some disruption where you're not taking it, getting it refilled when you need to, we can give you a call and say, how's that medication working? Are you having side effects with that medication that it's causing a problem with your quality of life? And is there something else that we can work with your prescriber to change? That's one area. If we continue, you can take this down to some individuals that have diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. I mean, that's like a triple threat. And a lot of patients out there have that, but they don't know when to take the medication, when's the right time to take the medication. And a lot of times they stop taking it because there's a side effect that could be easily solved. And that's where we want to fit.
Okay. And you mentioned also being a compounding pharmacy. I have an idea of what that means, but for those who are listening aren't really sure, what's the difference between a compounding and a non-compounding pharmacy, I guess?
So the way you can look at it is a non-compounding pharmacy is where you take your prescription from the doctor. It's a commercially available product, and these products they're made for the broad spectrum of the group out there. So it's a specific medication. For example, let's take a blood pressure medication, lisinopril. It's a very commercially driven medication. It is available for everyone out there. So it's dosed on everyone out there. But as we know, I'm different from you, Scott, and you're different from me. And sometimes the way I may metabolize a medication might be different from the way you metabolize a medication. And a lot of times with individuals, and we go into the BHRT or hormone replacement therapy, there are commercial products that are available out there. But again, my mom may not metabolize this medication the same way your mom might. So there are other options which are specialized compounded creams. They're bioidentical creams. They're put into different vehicles. For example, either you can take it orally or it can be a cream that you can place on your forearm. But those medications can be very specifically dosed where we're not maybe maximizing the doses where you're not getting 100 milligrams of this, but we can start you where somewhere around 20 milligrams and then work you up and see, does it have a better benefit for you? And this same concept with thyroid medications, men's health, women's health, pediatric dosing. There's a wide variety when you're working with an individual that has a ton of training. Our pharmacists have tons of training where they've got all this knowledge, and now they're able to work with the specific patient and say, what's going to work for you? Let's try something else. Now, it's not always our first line of therapy. Commercial line medication, we want to work with patients on that first. But if they're just failing, we're another option for it.
Okay, that's good to know. And I can imagine that that's got to be challenging, though, because to your point, everybody's chemistry is a little bit different. Everybody's lifestyle is a little bit different. You combine all that stuff together. I can't imagine doing something that's going to be more personal than tailoring a medication to that specific person. Where do you even begin to figure out what's the starting point for what's going to be right for them?
We work with quite a few great physicians. There's a lot of physicians that are out there that they know this area. They've been ingrained in it for years. So it's they understand how to start the patient on, what labs to check on the patient, what side effects to watch for. The pharmacist does the same thing in tandem with that prescriber and the patient. It becomes a group kind of project. We're working, the three of us all together to find that right dose, that right drug to make, again, that patient have a better quality of life.
Okay, very good. Now, I know one of the big questions that's going to pop into everybody's mind is going to a pharmacy like Renue RX more expensive than going to my grocery store or stopping by CVS, Walgreens, wherever they normally go?
And I love that question, Scott.
I know
we've talked about this so many times. That we're contracted with all the major pharmacy benefits programs as well as all the major insurance carriers. We have credentialing on them. When you go to our pharmacy, we utilize the same processors that the Walgreens, CVS of the world use. So your copay is exactly the same. The difference is you're just going to get your hand held a little bit more through the process with us versus going to one of the big box chains. It's a kind of a challenge for pharmacists that are opening their own businesses or trying to grow in this space. is that the marketing campaign that drives that you have to go to this pharmacy or you have to go to that pharmacy kind of gets ingrained, and it's something we're trying to break through. That now we're here, we can help you. There's a lot of things out there right now. You can Google that. Your independent pharmacist can really help you find the most cost-effective medication, the right medication, and then on top of that, making sure that you've gotten all your immunizations taken, you're checking your blood pressure regularly. Those finer things that you would expect you want to get at the big box chain. Well, you can get it from us, and there's no additional cost. It's the same as going to Walmart, Walgreens, or CVS.
All right, that's good to know. Are immunizations, do you guys do those in the pharmacy?
We do. We do
Okay.
immunizations in the pharmacy. It's just making it as convenient as possible to ensure our patients have access to what they need to live better lives.
Have you done a lot of flu this year? I know it's been like epidemic everywhere.
This has been probably, and I've been practicing about 15 years, but this has got to be the worst flu season we have seen in probably the last 10 years. If and this is my pharmacist hat coming on, if you have not gotten the flu, this is a bad flu season, go get a flu shot. Okay, it's still going to protect you, protect your family. I know there's a lot of rumors of what the flu shot can do, what it can't. Go talk to an expert. Go pick up the phone, call any pharmacist, call your physician, call a nurse, have them educate you a little bit about this. The flu is one of the most preventable cough and cold situation out there. And, if we've right now in the Dallas County, I think there's 55 individuals that have passed away because of this, something that could be prevented. Go get a flu shot. Go, if you're starting to have a fever, stay at home. Don't go to work. This is your pharmacist saying stay at home because you don't want to give this to anybody else. Keep young children away from you, elderly individuals away from you.
Except maybe go to the pharmacy to get what you need, but other than that, stay home.
Correct. Yeah, we're the first ones to get sick when the flu season hits because we get it all.
Sure, everybody's coming at you. Coming at you. Okay, so you're open in Frisco right now. What are plans for expansion? Where else do you have shops around town?
So we have one location in Sherman, Heritage Parkway Pharmacy, manned by two phenomenal individuals. Brianne Hale is our pharmacist out there, as well as Tony Tilley, our site manager. We have a location in Hampton run by Amar Takarar. He's phenomenally helping, especially the underserved area in conjunction with a prescriber group that we work with there. And then we have Hitan Patel and Julie in downtown Dallas. A lot of our work in those large buildings, you're at work 60 hours a week. When is it time to go get those medications? Well, we're right there in the Plazas of America to take care of our patients right then and there, and making sure if they have any questions throughout the day, we can handle that.
Okay.
Expansion growth, we're looking to go into Fort Worth, continue to expand in the DFW area and around Texas, looking to go into Austin, San Antonio, Houston, just to kind of re-solidify that, hey, let's renew your pharmacy knowledge. Let's refresh what you think a pharmacy should be like.
Well, I like the approach for sure. And with the opportunities in front of you, I think people are looking more and more for personalized experiences, but they're also looking for ways of saving time. And your comment about having the store in downtown so that for all the people that are working right there, you can get right to them, they can get right to you. But for people in Frisco, if they can't get to the pharmacy, do you guys deliver, or do you use a courier? How do people get to their meds if they need assistance?
We do deliver medications. So, if a patient can't get to us, which is, it happens, we do deliver. So, we utilize courier service as well as internal. We always do like our patients to come in and talk to us because that's when we can really have that dialogue and that conversation with them. Let's really go through your medications. How is it working for you? When should you take it? But yes, we do deliver.
Okay, good to know. And what are the store hours like? If people need to come in, especially for the first time, they want to sit down and chat with you, when are you guys normally open, and what do you do for after hours, if anything at all?
So at the Frisco location, we are open from 9 to 6 p.m., 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again, as we continue to grow, we'll expand those hours as well. We are an open, full-fledged traditional retail pharmacy as well as a specialized compounding component. So come in anytime, have a conversation with our team. You can talk to KP Patel. He's a pharmacist over there.
He's such a good guy, too. I love seeing him when I come in.
Great guy. I mean, he is a true 100% pharmacist. I mean, he wears it and everything. And then we've got Teresa. Teresa's our technician there, fluent in Spanish. She is just very in tune of taking care of every patient, just like, they were kids. And we've got also Gary James. He's our director of operations, and he keeps all the locations moving.
Gotcha. And one thing I want people to know is, even if you don't need meds right now for something, I would just stop in and see the place, because you guys did such a nice job. It does not feel like walking into a pharmacy at all.
Yeah.
It's more like the experience you get walking into a spa. It's just beautiful, and it's clean, and it's open, and
I'll tell you,
well
one of
done.
our pharmacists, this is kind of what we were trying to build out. It's just, it is a beautiful location. I got to say, it is a really nice location. One of our pharmacists, Amr Takarar, I'm going to probably tell you, he's a designer first and a pharmacist second, and so he designed the whole location.
Gotcha.
So
Good to know.
I got to give a hats out for him for making that
He
happen.
did a great job, yeah. Give him props for that. So a couple of questions before we wrap up. One, what would be one or two of the biggest misconceptions people have about coming to an independent pharmacy that we haven't already talked about that you would like to dispel?
Well, let's start off the one thing. Changing pharmacies is not as hard as changing your bank. It's a very easy process. So, if it pops in your head, I want to try a new pharmacy, just pick up the phone, give us a call, we take care of it from there. We call the other pharmacy, we transfer that medication over, we validate, make sure your insurance is okay, and then when you need your medication, we process it at that time and give you a call. So a lot of times individuals think that I can't go to this pharmacy, I have to go to this chain pharmacy. That's not true. Just pick up the phone, give us a call, we'll walk you through it. The other part of it is the big marketing kind of behemoth that we compete against, and that's, again, even with the large PBMs as well as the large pharmacy chains, is that we can take care of your prescriptions. We don't have the large, not yet, we don't have it yet, but we don't have the large advertising budget that they do. That's why I'm working with Lifestyle Frisco.
That's right. Thank you.
But we're, you can come to independent pharmacies, Health Mart pharmacies. We're kind of the coral in the sea out there. So, we're out there, we're business owners, small business owners, like a lot of probably your listeners as well. And, we can do probably as good a job or even 10 times better of a job than all of the pharmacies you're currently probably with.
Yeah, I'd believe that. And I'm just going to give you a personal endorsement, Raj. I've known you this long. There's nobody else I would go to. I mean, just you guys have been fantastic, and
Thanks, guys.
always been a good friend, so I'm glad to have you on the show. Now, last but not least, we're going to ask you the same question we ask everybody at the end of the show. Is there any particular thing to do, restaurant to go to around Frisco that you would say is your favorite thing about Frisco? What do you love about Frisco?
The Star at Frisco has just blown. It is beautiful, that place. The restaurants there. Me and my wife live in Frisco now we've been here for about 8-9 years. We love Frisco. I mean, it's the town that's growing. It's beautiful. There's just so much to do. We never have to leave Frisco. I mean, this is the first. I'm coming to Dallas. I don't ever leave Frisco. But the Star is a great place. We're big fans of Mi Casina. That's my wife goes there.
It's a nice Mi
Friday.
Casina there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job.
I mean, it's just, and the Star is beautiful. We go out there with the kids. They go on that, the tarp out there. They run around everywhere.
Yeah.
And you got some good restaurants there. Trupolo. We're still waiting for Zetania to open up. That's a good Mediterranean restaurant.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, the Star's a lot of fun. That place is something else, and there's a whole lot more like that coming online in the near future.
Yeah, and if you're at the Stars, we're right by the Stars. So we're located at Warren and Legacy in Frisco. So if you go visit the Stars, come take a look at our pharmacy.
You beat me to it. I was going to tell people if they want to find out more or they want to come in and see you in person, where do they go online and where is the store located?
So online, you can actually see a view of our pharmacy, renuerx.com, RENUERX.com, as well as if you want to come visit us, again, open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the corner of Warren and Legacy in Frisco, Texas. Our physical address is 3010 Legacy Drive, Suite 110, Frisco, Texas.
So it's on the east side of Legacy.
Yeah,
southeast corner of
yes.
Legacy and Warren. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, that's Renue, RENUERX pharmacy.com. I know spelling's been a little bit of a challenge, but make sure people get that right. We'll link this all up in the show notes. Guys, if you have any questions about meds, if you need anything along those lines, and we all do from time to time, please look Raj up, stop in at Renue, say hello, and they will take amazing care of you. Raj, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott.
And thank all of you guys for tuning in again to the Frisco Podcast. We'll talk to you next week.
You're listening to RNCN. the digital destination for premium talk radio.